Hello everybody and welcome. My name is Tyler and today I am going, pardon this mess here, we've been working on this car here. We just did a cam swap. If anyone has any knowledge on tuning on these things, leave a comment down below because we have been struggling with that thing for a cool minute. That is a complicated deal there, and I made this video for the exact opposite. I am showing you something simple. This car is a 1991 Camaro Z28 that I bought off my dad a couple years ago. It's been in the family for like 15 years or something like that. The story about the car is my mom wanted a sports car that was a convertible, and it was either that or a cruise, and she picked the car. And fourth day she owned it, she did that. Love my mom to death, but damn. I do have all the pieces to fix that. It's just a matter of getting the frame straightened. But this car, it originally came with a 5-liter 2-port injected with a 700 R4 automatic transmission. Whenever she wrecked the car, she threw the keys at my dad and told him he could have it, even though he didn't want it in the first place, because it's red. He doesn't like red. And he doesn't like Camaros that much either. He likes TAs, but he doesn't like the Camaros. He sold this to me a couple years ago, for like $500 plus a toolbox and an LS. So I took it, and the 305 that was in it was cracked. So I, luckily for me, unluckily, it's kind of ironic, but I had a 350 out of a 1995 Silverado that I had just totaled, not even a week before. So I went and put the 350 in there, and my dad had converted this thing to a stick shift. Has an SLP Y pipe, SLP short tube headers, and it's got a Borla muffler, a MagnaFlow tip, and a Flowmaster turn down. This thing is about as simple as it gets. It's got the 24-pound injectors off of an LT1, and an adjustable fuel regulator adjusted about 46 PSI when you turn the key. But This is the motor that I'm going to be putting in it. It's going to use a similar intake style. It's still going to be running a tune port, except if anybody knows anything about the 350 small blocks, they know normally these are angled and there's 2 bolt holes in there. And those are also angled. But this is a Vortec setup. The 062 casting Vortec heads, the best heads that GM made, in my opinion, with these 350s. I've got a valve job, stainless undercut valves with beehive springs, and it's got a crane roller rockers, fully roller. It's got a retrofit hydraulic roller lifter setup with a crane hydraulic roller cam, similar cam they used in some of their crate engines. And I need to get an oil pan, because that is a Corvette oil pan, and that won't work for this car here, because the sump, I don't know if any of you guys know about these cars, but the sump on the Camaros are like this instead of like this, because there's a pipe that goes literally right here, and the exhaust obviously would not work with this oil pan. So I need to change oil pans. Not a big deal. That's $50 at O'Reilly's for a Dorman factory replacement oil pan. Has a sandwich style oil cooler with an AC Delco oil filter, because I only run AC Delco oil filters. Then I've got to get a harmonic dampener for this thing. This block is out of an 85 Corvette or truck. We know that by the casting numbers. The heads are out of a 96 GMC that we bought from a salvage yard. And these heads are on their third build, judging from the color of the heads whenever we got them. The whole engine was purple, and we saved these heads and put some Corvette heads on that one, and that was in an 85 GMC, and that thing ran circles around just about anything. But luckily we saved these heads because that motor that these heads came off of got stolen. But we've got all this set up, and then I've got to do a this is a convertible car, factory convertible. This is how you tell. So if anyone's trying to sell you a convertible third gen, if it doesn't have this, it is a conversion car, if you will. And a lot of people will argue that they didn't do that, but in the 90s, they would cut the tops off of these and then basically put a rag top with the bracket that basically, sorry, this thing's being used as a storage unit right now. But there was no cover for the top, so it was just sat there. And they had a rag top cover that you could clip down, but being as this one has an actual tonneau cover, this is a factory convertible car. Not very many of these were convertibles. Sorry. Pardon the mess. Like I said, we're getting settled and everything. But call this a collection of videos. I'm gonna show you how to build something on the cheap side of things and have fun with it, because a lot of these people will tell you need the biggest cam, you need the biggest lifters, you need the best set of push rods, you need the stiffest valve springs, and you need, to convert everything to LS. And I'm here to tell you that you don't need to do that, because these cars here are fun to mess with. And these motors, you can get these 350s from a salvage yard for less than $200. So, I mean, there's no point in, just blowing off a whole lot of money that you could save. Now, yeah, you could get an LS from a salvage yard for the same price. However, you've got to do a whole exhaust. You got to change the ECMs. You got to buy a whole bunch of different accessories. If you want AC, you got to change accessory brackets. And it just becomes a headache so fast. And it just takes the pleasure out of everything when it comes to building a car. So I'm here to tell you that you don't have to LS swap something to have fun. And before I leave here, guys, I am going to give you all a good idle video of what this thing sounds like, because this thing sounds really good. So if you'll, without further ado, I am going to just set you all down right here, and I'll be right back. The whistle you're hearing coming from that. Light switch doesn't work. But this car, it sounds great, as you can tell. And believe me when I say this car runs amazing. And like I said, this thing sounds great. And everyone talks about an LS sounding the best. And to a point, I do kind of agree. LSs do have a different sound that only an LS can achieve. However, being that said, these 350s also have a tone that only they can achieve. But, call this, like I said, a collection of videos to just show you the ropes on how to build something. I've got a bunch of pictures that I'll make a collaboration video of all the beauty that this thing had in store for us. And without further ado, I do appreciate you guys tuning in. Until next time, take it easy.